In this lesson, you'll learn to find the distance between 2 points on the coordinate plane and find a point that is a given distance from a second point in a plane. How can the distance between 2 points be determined? Consider 2 points A and B in the coordinate plane. Notice that a right triangle can be formed by drawing lines parallel to the axis through points A and B. These lines intersect at C, forming a right angle. The hypotenuse of this triangle is the distance between A and B. You can determine the length of the legs of this triangle and then use Pythagorean theorem to find the distance between the 2 points. Notice that AC is the difference between the y coordinates and BC is the difference of the x coordinates. So AB equals AC squared plus BC squared. And AB equals the square root of AC squared plus BC squared. You can find the distance between any 2 points in the coordinate plane using a similar process. The result is called the distance formula. The distance d between any 2 points with the coordinates x sub 1, y sub 1, and x sub 2, y sub 2 is given by d equals the square root of the difference in the x's squared plus the difference in the y's squared. So all we need to do to find the distance between any 2 points is use the formula. So I want the difference in the x's squared plus the difference in the y's squared, and then finally we'll take the square root of that. Now, since we're squaring, it really doesn't matter which number is first. I have -4, but remember -4 times -4 is going to be squared, so it's going to be positive. Same as the -2 times -2. So I've got 16 plus 4, and the square root of 20 would be exactly 2 square root of 5, or this book seems to like to round to the nearest hundredth, so it would be about 4.47 units. Julianne is sighting her rifle for an upcoming biathlon competition. Her first shot is 2 inches to the right and 7 inches below the bullseye. What is the distance between the bullseye and where her first shot hit the target? Okay, they spent way too much time on this graphic, but it's kind of nice because you can see the right triangle there, or we can use the formula. We could count squares and see that the difference in the x's is going to be 2, or we can use the formula. Plus the difference in the y's. I can count squares and see it's going to be 7, or use the formula minus -7. And I've got square root of 2 squared plus 7 squared. 4 plus 49 is the square root of 53, which is not normally how we tell distance. So if we round to the nearest hundredth, we get about 7.28 inches. Now we're going to use a little algebra to find the value of A if the distance between the points is 5. So this time I know D in my formula. The difference in my x's, I'm not sure of. So I'm going to go a minus 2 squared plus the difference in the y's, it's no problem. So -4 minus -1. So I have 5 equals the square root of, when I square a binomial, I have a squared minus 4a plus 4. First term squared, first term, second times 2, second term squared, plus -4 plus 1 would be -3 squared. We could square both sides to get rid of that pesky radical sign, so I have 25 equals a squared minus 4a plus 4. -3 times -3 is 9. Let's put everything on one side of the equation. Now I have 0 equals a squared minus 4a. 13 minus 25 would be minus 12. So I'm looking for factors of negative 12 that give me a sum of negative 4. So if I do minus 6 and plus 2, I get negative 6 times 2 is negative 12, and negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. Perfect. So my two solutions are a equals 6 or a equals negative 2. This one's interesting because there's a radical, but it goes away pretty quickly. So I have square root of 37 equals square root of, difference in the x's, I'm going to start with the a again, it looks nice that way, plus difference in the y's, 2 minus 3 squared. Okay, square both sides, voila, the radical signs are gone. And when we square the binomial, first term squared, first times second times 2, second term squared, plus negative 2 minus 3 is negative 1, squared is 1. So we can subtract 37 from both sides of the equation, and I have 0 equals a squared minus 4a. 1 plus 4 is 5, minus 37 is negative 32. Now I'm looking for factors of negative 32 that give me a sum of negative 4, and negative 8 and positive 4 fit the bill. So my two solutions are 8 and negative 4. The distance d between any 2 points with coordinates x sub 1, y sub 1, and x sub 2, y sub 2 is given by the formula d equals difference in the x's squared plus difference in the y squared, and then the whole square root of the whole business.